back at you. Let's talk about a water pump on this 2014 Audi A6. It's got the 3.0 liter supercharged engine in it, and this thing had a massive oil leak. It was all due to the weep hole. They had a bad bearing, and it was just gushing coolant out of here. This is a weird water pump. We're going to talk about it. All the newer vehicles are using this type of water pump for emissions purposes, the EPA standards for the tailpipe emissions. So basically, the faster the car warms up, the faster the emissions are in line, and that's what they're trying to do nowadays. So what they have is actually there's a sleeve that covers the impeller under certain conditions when the vehicle's cold. The engine ECU will have there's a solenoid that allows vacuum from the intake to this port right here, which allows the sleeve to pull out, which I'll show you. This diaphragm is actually bad. This is a brand new water pump. So when the vacuum is applied here, there's a sleeve that covers the impeller. Watch. So that's what happens. Here's the problem, is you have vacuum applied to a water pump, right? What if the diaphragm fails and allows coolant to go through the vacuum system? It's going to cause havoc, and that's what happens. What can happen. It did not happen in this vehicle, but a lot of new vehicles that have these type of water pumps, that failure does happen, and it's actually pretty common. And when that does happen, coolant gets sucked up to the vacuum system. It can cause havoc everywhere. It can get sucked into the booster on the brake side. It's a pain in the butt. Unfortunately, a lot of the manufacturers have chose to go this route. Mercedes, BMW, they all use this type of setup. Mercedes uses like a plastic ball that moves back and forth. And what can happen is, on the Mercedes, that ball gets stuck there and the car overheats. And in this sleeve, if that solenoid gets stuck on the vacuum, the sleeve's gonna stay ejected out, and you'll have no coolant flowing through the system, and the vehicle will overheat. Yeah, it's a weird way to fail, but it's possible. If that vent valve's stuck open, it's got vacuum at all times, this sleeve will be out the entire time there's vacuum. This one is a little more safe for failure compared to the Mercedes version, where they get stuck mechanically, but it can happen. But in these repairs, this pump's not cheap, the labor's not cheap. This job's pretty close to about $2,000, and this car, like I said, it's a 2014, has just under 2,000, has just under 100,000 miles on this car, and it's about a $2,000 job to do this repair. So keep that in mind. Of course, we're doing the belts and the new coolant and new pump. It's pretty close to $2,000 that entire job cost on this one. But I wanted to bring in here. It's very common. This is something we're seeing more and more. More manufacturers are going this type of setup. It's all for emissions. So if you're upset about why does it cost so much to fix my car, almost every time it goes back to the manufacturers are trying to develop new parts to meet emission standards, and that's the culprit, the emissions. So the EPA is costing you guys money. So if you want to complain to somebody, that's who I would complain to, because they are causing a lot of problems with parts these days for manufacturers to meet certain requirements. So that's kind of where we're at. As we have a 2017 Ford Explorer here with just under 100,000 miles on it, or just at, I should say. And we have a water pump go out. This is where Ford has decided to put the water pump on the inside of the timing cover, ran by the timing chains, which most people know. Just the reason I bring it up is, you only get about 100,000 miles of this thing, and then you have, well, we do it right. We do all the changing guides and tensioners. It's a little over $4,000 job. We do valve covers, belts. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right. So, but yeah, that's where Ford decided, is to put it behind the timing cover. You do not have to pull the motor. We elect to do it because, to me, you get more access to it. You do a better job, especially when you silicone the pump cover. You're not fighting with the frame. You have all this room. To me, it helps the guys' back. They're not getting hurt bending over the entire time doing the job. You lower the engine out of the vehicle, gives you all the room to do everything. But what happens on these, the bearings go bad, and it leaks through the weep hole right here. The seal fails also. It can leak coolant to the crankcase, but this bearing went bad on this one. You can kind of feel it in here also, and it leaks into back here. There's a channel that goes down behind the compressor. There's a channel of coolant, and it drips. So, but extremely common. Like anything else, water pumps are failing at an early rate nowadays, and the repair on these isn't cheap. Besides that, this car, engine-wise, is great. They don't have any problems. This 3.5 can go for a long time. Naturally aspirated. Just this water pump, you have to deal with it, and it's expensive repair because of labor. We have a 2019 BMW X3, and it's turbocharged. So we went over a supercharged water pump car, went over a naturally aspirated car. Now we have a turbo. As you can see here, it doesn't matter what you have. You have a new vehicle, you're gonna need a water pump at some point in time. That's what we're talking about today. This one has about 76,000 miles in that range. And it's very similar to the Audi, or actually I say more like Mercedes, but it's a vacuum controlled operated. And this one is, the valve only gets vacuum when it's cold. When it does that, it closes this passage and prevents flow of coolant. See, that moves by vacuum operated. The DME will say, hey, I'm cold. There's a solenoid, gives it vacuum. It pulls this forward and prevents coolant from traveling through the block. Vehicle warms up faster, emissions come in quicker. The problem is, these things fail, and they're expensive. You can't replace this section of it. We're doing the whole housing because this gasket back here will leak. This is a very expensive repair. Also, there is a plastic neck on the block that this one actually it cracked right here, and right here you can see a small hairline crack on it. It is leaking coolant right there. We will go back with a aluminum version, and I use the OE gasket because the OE gaskets the quality is a little bit better. I like it, but I'm going to show you what we're going to go back with. I get Rain makes their own metal one right here, and I get that, and I get the factory parts. I want to go back with plastic, because what's going to happen with plastic is going to have the same problem. So I'll go back with the aluminum one, but I'll use the factory gasket over the Ryan gasket. I haven't used the Ryan gasket, just from my experience. That seems to be what will end up failing. Is this will be solid, not leak, but this will go out prematurely and you'll leak from the gasket. So I like to go with the factory gasket, just a little bit better quality. So, but I haven't really tried this one to see if it's decent. It may be a factory gasket, something to ask Ryan, but just in case, to ensure, I go back with that one. I don't want to have any problems with it, but yeah, labor on this car, I think it was like all together 14 hours maybe, the pump, and we're doing the oil filter housing also, which is right here. We're doing this also. This is high failure rates, especially around this mileage. So if you're in here, you do this at the same time. All the hoses attached to it, we're replacing the hoses. This car was at BMW dealership 3 different times, and they failed to replace all the failure points, or correct all the failure points. That's what we're going to do today. Is the common things that we see around this mileage, we're going to take care of while it's here, because the worst thing is go back with these parts. If we know there's a hose that goes bad or splits or leaks, if we ignore that, it's going to come back. So do what you know has been failing. Basically, any hose you touch, you replace. That's kind of a rule you have on these German cars that have plastic hoses. If you touch it, you're probably going to replace it, because it's going to cost you a comeback if you don't. It will come right back. Anyways, this is kind of the norm, what you see on these newer cars. Water pumps, they fail at a early rate. Like I said, I think Toyota pumps are lasting the longest, and Honda. I don't have problems with Honda water pump. Probably Honda, honestly. Honda's probably got the best pump on the market, and I'd say Toyota. And it seems like Hyundais aren't too bad. I don't really see Hyundai failures either. Keys and Hyundais. But everybody else, man, they're going to fail pretty close to under Honda or below it. So, questions put below. Till next time. Forgot to mention, I think everything we're doing to this, all the hoses, water pump, that outlet housing, I think the job is in the cooler. $40-something $100, I think, in that range. It's in the 4 or 5 range. So it's not cheap. Not cheap, especially for a newer vehicle with low miles on it. So it's pretty sad, but too bad the manufacturers can't build anything quality because it's showing. So it's keeping us busy. Job security 100%, especially the newer the vehicle, I almost guarantee it's coming in here at some point in time under 100K. Not sure, probably a Honda or Toyota, but still, those manufacturers aren't perfect either. So they've definitely taken a step back for quality, that's for sure. But they look good amongst the other ones still. Till next time. See you.